downstairs, Joe.
If I can remember how to get over there.
Just go back through spawn and come down the stairs.
All right, I found the stairs. I'm coming.
Make sure you don't fall down these ones.
Hush, zombie holder. I spit on the ground you walk on.
This is unbelievable.
Okay, turning on the dryer.
What happens after we turn it on?
It's timed. We need to wait for the cycle to finish so we can pick up the cloth for the plane wing.
Uh-oh, a Brutus just spawned in. I only have my starting pistol.
I'm gonna go find the mystery box and get a gun so we can kill this guy.
Hurry, I'll keep him occupied in the meantime.
I'm shooting him. Oh shit, he almost insta-downed me.
The cloth is done. I'm picking it up. Hey, Obunga, did you find the mystery box yet?
Yes, Drumpf, it's in the warden's office.
Could you hurry up and get a gun? This isn't an Epstein ward.
Added even more to the mystery, basically confirming that there was something to unlock. Eventually, parts of the mystery started connecting to GT Online updates. In the Doomsday heist, there's literally a mission where the player uses a jetpack to leave Mount Chiliad. I'm bringing the old theory full circle. It was the closest thing to an official answer Rockstar ever gave, suggesting that the mural had been teasing content that wouldn't show up until years later. Even now, people still debate whether it's all connected, or if Rockstar just leaned into the myth once it became popular, but either way, the Mount Chiliad mystery has outlasted almost every other secret in the game. It's not just an Easter egg, it's part of Grand Theft Auto's culture at this point. For years, people swore they'd seen something moving in the forest of San Andreas. Some called it a hoax, others said they heard it breathing just off screen. Nobody ever found proof. That's how the Bigfoot legend started. It goes back to the old days, where players wandered through the woods of the original San Andreas convinced there was something out there, and the myth took off. People searched for weeks, finding nothing but fog and tree lines. Still, the idea stuck. When the world got reimagined, the legend came back with it. Early on, there's a faint thermal outline of trees that disappears the second you notice it. Later, there's an entire story where Franklin meets a man who claims he's been chasing Bigfoot for 8 years. Farming in the woods, tracking creatures. He says he's the last of his kind, then you realize it's just things get even stranger with your days. If you've done everything, 100% completion, found every mule peyote, new series. Each day of the week, one shows up, something different, but only early in the morning in fog or snow. Eating one turns you into Bigfoot. You can run around, drive cars, fight, and tear through the city until it fades away, but after finding them all, the game starts leaving a trail of dead bodies, leading to a scrapyard, ending in a fight with the Beast. If you win, both characters unlock the director mode. The next entry just started as another drug trip mission until it didn't. Trevor takes berries, weed, and grass roots, and his vision blurs, and out of nowhere, straight at him. An automatic shotgun blowing a clown band. When it's over, it's played off like hallucination, but there's something a little unsettling about how specific it was. Trevor's like random, some Barbarian's head that replaces the clowns with aliens, which makes sense for him, but for Trevor, it feels different. It feels personal. Years later, someone found a clown standing completely still inside one of the abandoned motel rooms in Sandy Shores. Same model from Trevor's hallucination. Hatchet in hand, head slightly tilted. It wasn't reacting, it wasn't part of the mission, and it wasn't supposed to exist outside that sequence. The weird part is that clown's blood effects and movement were slightly off sync, something that usually only happens with enemies that spawn by mistake, but it shouldn't spawn at all. No one ever proved odds, no cheat, nothing suspicious in the footage, it just existed. In the rain, never seen again. Maybe a glitch, but considering how specific that model is, it's hard not to wonder if something that wasn't meant to show up again. So, next one. The alien sightings of San Andreas are some of the oldest and most well-known myths in the series, and they're either obviously something in, and later, before all that needed to be back on the Numa Squire. He wanted to move to the city, Jolene didn't. They argued about it on Mount Porto.
Big lead puss bag!
But there wasn't enough evidence and he walked free. The poor jock for him paid more voice as the only sign of what really happened. Like, she's still marking the name of the man who killed her. Strange part is, she doesn't even react. She just stares forward, tracking the exact moment she died. It's one of the few myths that isn't decorated, modeled, or illuminated. It's just there. You can visit the spot anytime. Every night, the same hour, she shows up.
It's a bloodbath, my favorite kind! Sorry, zombie. I ain't nobody's meat snack. Do that again, I'll bite you back, freak sack!
Style is celebrities, tech guys, quietly cult leading the wider map too. Even later in their side and radio rumors always push the same line. Fantasy, Eat of the Flesh. It's slick, everywhere.
Fucking boom, freak bags!
Drop right in the roads and leave their dignity and something much heavier still intact. It's the perfect ending for a storyline about
The devil's dogs. No match for the U.S. Marines. That's right. Magnum's empty. Need ammo. Get your hands off me, bag brain.
DLC would have been your jetpacks long for wouldn't speak to Joe, the distracted actor, the team actually recorded some of it before it just disappeared. Voice director Joe Rubino later confirmed that half the expansion was finished before Rockstar shut it down. Next,
I need to get some slugs. Running low on gun juice. I swear, like my zombies, fragged on the floor.
Every bit of story content, design time, and testing was redirected towards keeping online updated.
Ammo's getting low, but I am moving.
It wasn't just cut, it was absorbed to the online world piece by piece. Finished waiting for a story mode that never came. So think of this as a hard reset. New timeline, new canon, same cities rebuilt from the ground up. The HD universe is this continuity that starts with 4 and carries through 5, online, and beyond. It is an old 3D era with better graphics. It's a different world where familiar names exist, but their histories don't line up anymore. Liberty City, Los Santos, Vice, all reinterpreted. Events you remember from older games didn't happen, even if brands, vehicles, or inside jokes carry over. That's why some myths feel reborn. Bigfoot becomes playable, Chiliad gets a mural that later ties into jetpacks and UFOs, the Epsilon Cult expands into full quest lines, same vibe, different rules. This timeline is also where the long tail lives. Online advances in real time, pulling in IA black sites, casino heists, KO Rico, pieces that would have been saved for DLC in the era. It's the reason that ideas resurface years later, strips across updates instead of being brought to release. Pittsburgh is one of the big mysteries you have to ask which universe they belong to. Callbacks now, history. Others were rebuilt and pushed further, sometimes quietly confirmed, sometimes left to breathe as rumors. In the HD universe, the map is bigger, the world is cleaner, and the myths are designed to linger. This locations line up almost perfectly with Abram's clues, but here's what gets strange. Some players discovered those bodies appeared to be female. Even though the police said the intended victims were male joggers, it's led to theories that maybe someone else copied Merle's crimes or even buried them all after his death. Scattered fire pits, a small seaside hut, and bags from Burger Shot near the burial site connect back to Merle too, the same kind of trash found in his burned house. He prepared everything himself before dying, leaving a trail that's understood. To this day, the intended killer isn't just another it's a fully formed unsolved case buried in the world. In the skies above Fort Zancudo, curious UFO encounters in GTA 5. At exactly 3 a.m., a formed on top of one of the bunkers inside the base. If you stay and look closely, the glow shapes into a perfect circle embedded between clouds, just like a light UFO. This isn't like the others found on San Andreas. It doesn't shimmer or hover peacefully. It's silent, matte, and looks more like something built from something alien. If you fly close enough, the UFO slowly goes down, almost like it's closed. It's shaped a lot like a stealth bomber, thin, angular, with 2 turbines spinning underneath it, but the second you try to get too close, everything shuts down. The UFO emits a powerful impulse, filling the engines of whatever you're flying. The only option left is to bail out and parachute. Even then, landing on it is almost impossible. The game physically
He's a lot prettier without a head.
players have been speculating the game files from 2 human pilots inside the model, suggesting this is military, maybe something reverse engineered from a crash or an early prototype. The side of the ship is rearrange and segregate for a moment. If you rearrange it, literally spells Easter egg, almost like Rocksteady's way of letting you know you weren't supposed to find this. The UFO doesn't appear unless you do this. As with a large enough show like mystery, close enough to There's been a long-running myth in GTA 5 about Cinderman, the faceless creature from American internet horror. But unlike most GTA mysteries, this one's completely fake. Cinderman isn't actually a at all. Rumors several players claim to see Paul watching them from the forest in northern Blank County or the mountains near Toledo Bay. Videos are popular sitting in a car claiming Cinderman wasn't standing in the trees. Most of the clips but they spread fast enough that people began hunting for them in the wild, just like players once did Bigfoot. The real origin of Cinderman comes from an internet meme, created in 2009 by Eric Hunson, on the Something mirrors players who've made it in GTA's world but keep playing out of habit or nostalgia. Franklin represents the achiever, the player who grinds up to every mission, every player, find their way out of the chaos. He's the youngest of three players who's trying to move up in life and escape the cycle of the right way, the missions, saving money, upgrading cars, and Trevor is the chaos. He's the impulsive player. Trevor embodies that part of every GTA fan.
perfect weapon for the perfect soldier.
Some time ago, Grace's position directly over the area near her home makes this connection seem intentional. Some players even plan the spot feels haunted, especially since it sits near Mount Gordo, site of the infamous ghost of Jolene Granny Evans. At night, the atmosphere around the grave feels heavy. With night vision or thermal vision, the area gives off an eerie influence, with sound buzzing below, despite countless player investigations. Every sense is just a pile of dirt with a only adds to the unease. But the grave serves as a key to the residential. Sitting on a high ground. This connection was seen
Get your hands off me, bag brain! My favorite kind! See you all in hell! Get back in the grave!
Over the years, the company but GTA 3 and Vice City for inspiring real-life crimes. We tried to see game developers console Walmart using the sudden murder to mine.
Those freak bags are gonna eat lead and die.
He managed to make enough noise that his name was synonymous with the old community of gaming. Eventually, after years of bizarre
Unless you take my guns, I wouldn't laugh, asshole.
In GTA 4, during the mission, Final Interview, Nico Bellic is sent to assassinate a corrupt warrior who, at one point, says the line, "Guns don't kill people, video games do." That line was a direct jab at Thompson's rhetoric, and he didn't take it too well. He threatened to take legal action against Rockstar if the character wasn't removed from the game, but obviously nothing came of it. The mission stayed exactly as it was, and fans quickly picked up on the joke. Even beyond that, they sprinkled in small amounts of they gave us no banning off the very serious and tried to destroy. So while there's no mission or secret character based on GTA 5, its presence is so next entry is insurance company wanted ever since it's marketed as a safety feature, a way to lower insurance premiums and ensure it serves as a large-scale surveillance system. When someone dies, the signal from their chip cuts out, automatically alerting law enforcement to the exact spot where it happened. That's why police are always going to know when and where it's happened, even in remote, random areas with no witness nearby. The system allows insurance companies to locate the scene and notify authorities before anyone even finds the body. The idea is that by doing this, insurance companies can avoid paying out expensive life insurance policies. Once the suspect responsible is called, they can sue that person's insurance provider for damages, effectively shifting financial responsibility away from themselves. It's the proper effective where the tracking system not only helps solve crime faster, but also gives the insurance industry free money. Citizens on the other hand are content. Safety,
shit to blow up.
This effect is unintentional but eerie, and it's led to a running joke among players calling it the NPC rapture, as if the skies themselves decided to give up. Out in the Grand Smart Desert, there's a group of FIB agents stationed around the satellite dishes between 10 a.m. and 6 the scientists go silent, and if you linger too long, the agents grow hostile. They'll start aiming their weapons and hang around, and if you attack or if you can try to speak to them, they'll immediately open fire.
Freak sack! Badass machine!
Mocks the blind devotion of branding and excess. Corporations, memes, balled-out politicians, and satire combined with content designed to keep you passive. The media landscape, from radio to television, became so
Freak sack! You lose! Electrifying!
Essentially, the idea suggests that Grand Theft Auto's world isn't just satire, it's America after the businessman won, a nation that never recovered from corporate control, where greed, corruption, and apathy became permanent. There's a rare audio phenomenon some players report thanks to a radio chatter that
I wish I could meet the chick who's saying that to me.
strange things are happening inside of the same place.
juice. I'm here to kick your ass.
Story trading back to
Double points.
this video.
Ammo's getting low, but I ain't worried. Come here, puppy. Got something for you. Dude, I love bossa nova.
Oftentimes Illuminati or the idea of higher forces like humanity appears all over some of the greats. Galileo observed the monument outside Capitol that perfectly formed the Eye of Providence when the sun hits it at the right angle. The monument itself was one of the real largest structures in the world. Some could agree with
Holy shit, that was badass! Holy shit, that was badass! This is one badass machine. Just like me.
recognizable urban legends in real life, so it's no surprise players start looking for it in the game too. And this supposedly describes a tall, dark figure with glowing red eyes seen flying near bridges or watching from rooftops, usually around Hill Valley Church. Some rumors who says it was created by others claim it appears to appear to be science first started being referred to
Where I like my zombies? Fragged on the floor! Good day to die, freak sack!
The resemblance is eerie enough that screenshots and videos are circulating, showing what looks like a deliberate pattern hidden in the water. What makes it interesting is how it connects to the arc of the sea version of the sky across the skin. It's an all-seeing eye symbols and secret designs in around Chiliad. This one is something
This is gonna jack those freak bags up. I need to get some slugs. Holy shit, that was badass!
red eye staring through the container just for a second, and vanishing. A few players even claim to standing too close at that exact time, cause your character to suddenly catch fire, mirroring Trevor's death in the final battle. Real stories expect to be Trevor's death is
Ammo,
one of the
now.
moments in the game, and his trailer, always dimly lit and quiet after he's gone, already gives that uneasy feeling.
Ammo's getting low, but I ain't worried. Oh, those don't sound like freak bags.
No event triggers, no
Ammo's getting low.
to the strange atmosphere of the area. The skeletons match the shape of a humpback whale, a fitting detail considering the real-life California coastline the named map draws from. They don't serve any of these purposes, but they became one of those hidden rewards that make exploration worth it. It's not tied to any myth or mystery.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Showed a TV screen displaying part of Los Angeles map of Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man faintly overlaid with multiple entries, small details, and odd occurrences let players believe that singularity has quietly taken place behind the scene, theory timing the existence of Domosabots.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
San Andreas, certain boundaries that players also means a sudden and guaranteed end. When a plane flies too far over the water, sometimes they'll sputter out completely, at times they'll explode in the air. Doesn't extend infinitely, and the invisible walls ensures that players don't end up lost in unlimited space, but
ammo's getting low, but I ain't worried.
The effects feel deliberate, a digital version of the same myth that's haunted real pilots and sailors for decades. Late at night and playing distant
I'm gonna need a clip soon.
Roughly between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. Though players but rather a nod to the real-life return of gray wolves to California after nearly a century of extinction in the region. It's a subtle piece of atmosphere most players miss, but it quietly leaves things very California, the haunted mystery of the world. A day that never comes one of the rarest
jerk those freakbacks up.
Some connected this occurrence to the real-world idea known as a lunar effect, which refers to the belief that lunar cycles influence human behavior. The book is focused on repeating lunar cycles and happening when you see actions of the lunar comparison. There's no firm calls for the data patterns. The reports are rare and inconsistent and
Like my zombies, fragged on the floor.
Skeptics argue that this is unlikely. They believe file systems don't work that way, and that file organization itself is impossible. But it doesn't justify the development scheme. There is no study that recommends a family file. The mod is incorrectly installed, or in those cases, the game starts over.
This is gonna jerk those freakbacks up. I swear like my zombies, fragged on the floor.
Our bedtime, so we headed to our respective bedrooms. And that was one of the things that I did like about sleepovers at Bethany's. Yesterday, I slept over, I was able to use it. The idea of us keeping each other up by talking all night was a rule that I was more than happy to follow
slugs. Running low on gun juice. I'm gonna need a clip soon.
That's when I realized where she was. She was standing on the wooden footboard of my bed, balancing there in some bizarre crouch.
Running low on gun juice. I'm gonna need a clip soon. Four-legged freak sex. Just more shit to blow up. I need to get some slugs. Yeah, that's right.
She leaped off the foot of the bed and landed on them. And then she began smearing something on my face, which I later found out was the same lipstick that she used to write on herself. And at the same time, she kept spitting on me, saying she wanted me to be weird. I managed to scream, but I think Marie must have heard me.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up. Machine.
Sit opposite chair
freak
no
bag.
longer be
He
around
ain't that
people
good.
who behave like that. And the worst part is, Bethany claimed that this was also true, that we'd been drawn to each other and needed Jesus. As my parents took me home, I remained ashamed, begged, and pleaded with them. This was what happened. I was way too young to even be thinking about anything like that, let alone and they said nothing has been over and over
Die, freak sack!
ostracized everyone at school. And she would say horrible words and disrespect.
Electrify!
Serious help. Survival camp designed to scare kids straight into good behavior. And they kept Bethany there for over a year.
Fuck! I can't
And then
blow
when she
shit
came
up
home,
without
she
ammo!
didn't want to see it. She was homeschooled.
Time to kill!
My parents had been making friends during the whole break with the green light camp. But as soon as she returned, it just stopped spending.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up! Sorry, zombie. I ain't nobody's meat snack. Ah, fucking boom, freak bags!
Eventually, I heard from my parents that Bethany had decided to dedicate her whole life to Jesus. After graduation, was set to become a nun. As far as I know, that's exactly what it did.
Hell yeah!
Since it's not like she had any other friends as past.
That's right!
Just contorting her face to look like a goblin. In these sleep paralysis fits, she looks fully demonic. And whenever I finally break out of them and the specter of Bethany seems to disappear, I find myself wondering, did it possibly make things better for my dear best friend? Or did I simply
This is gonna jack those freak bags up! Where like my zombies? Rock on the floor! Shit, that was bad!
And Kenny never actually showed serious signs of violence. Mostly. Occasionally some of the cool kids would give him crap and he'd lash out and sort of yell at them. And whenever he got angry, his voice would become offensive, which really didn't help him in a calm slow, respectful society. Now, a few things about Kenny that were actually true. His mom put his hair in the
Die, freak sack! Where like my zombies? Dragged on the floor! Electrify!
He could barely communicate if you spoke to him. He'd spend so long thinking about what you said that and you had to learn to just stand there and wait. Eventually, Kenny would reply, most times anyway. Sometimes he really would just zone out, and you'd have to sort of yell at his name to snap him back to attention. Now looking back, Kenny shouldn't really have been screaming.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up!
Helping or something. Instead, this probably insisted
Fucking boom, freak bags! Hell yeah!
everybody. He excelled at sports, he was smart,
Yeah, that's right!
and so Bradley became friends with basically came in a little too late to school because I didn't have class first period. And as soon as I got there, I could tell some commotion was going on. Cops were there, searching lockers.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up. This is one badass machine.
As well before Bradley joined the school. But instead of making the most of his newfound popularity, Kenny decided to go ahead with it anyway. Bradley had seen the close of his life, and respect his friendship with him, and couldn't let this slide into the school. One of his dad was trying to force him to sneak a look into the investigation.
Badass machine.
And Bradley had somehow unlocked and had detailed Kenny's plan to poison the same day, Lieutenant Blake would bring pistols to school belonging to his dad and finish anyone off that way. Bradley brought this manifesto straight to the dean. I guess he thought this through. One, why was Bradley able to access Kenny's locker and find that wall and discover this manifesto?
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Suspended from school at the time since there was no actual proof he planned on committing a crime. And then the next thing we knew, Bradley was no longer in attendance either. It turns out Brad was a psychopath who had been kicked out of his high school for antisocial behavior. His father had an exterminator friend that specialized in eating rats. One of the few well-known uses of poison is the cops were able to prove that Brad was spontaneous and case that was in the a saved file containing the whole manifesto. According to the kid whose dad was one of the detectives, Bradley broke down and sang like a canary. Not a remorseful one, but a proud one. When he arrived at the school, he first saw him.
Ready to die, freak bags.
He was curious.
Here, puppy. Got something for ya.
Son who might be a school. He admitted that he was I'm not sure what kind of criminal charges were arrested.
Yeah, that's right.
Poison having nothing to do with his son. And so we never saw Bradley again. And we never saw Kenny either. The whole incident broke him, and I wish I could say that he'd overcome his experiences, returned to school, and been embraced by us again. I know we would have welcomed him back, but Bradley broke him. Kenny spent the rest of his high school career in the mental institute, and for all I know, he's still there. I tried to
This
find
is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Spending my teenage years around someone who was the most chilling and horrific thing possible. The way you torture poor Kenny is unforgivable. Adults can be awful, but kids can be truly, truly evil. hated gym class, and I dreaded the showers even more. It's not like everyone in my grade was some jock or anything like that, but it was by far the biggest part of my freshman year. The only upside to it was that I was a tough kid as well.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Physical violence against me.
Fucking boom, freak bags.
It's great that I'm showing it. I think a lot of the kids respected that. There was one kid.
Hell yeah.
As skinny as I was fat. I was pretty short on the
Son of a bitch.
really tiny. But it wasn't something sit with him at lunch or invite him to social events or anything like that. And two, it meant that some of the more physical bullies had it in mind to take Neil down. And that's where I came in. One day I was sitting there in the lunch in the courtyard with Neil. I also did.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Sit beside me.
Machine.
In the end, I decided that I was too scared of what would happen if I said no, so I took the sandwich. And this seemed to make Neil happy, even more so when I actually ate it. I didn't really know what to say after that, so I just sort of asked him if he was having a good day. Neil ignored the question and told me I had that hose with me. Neil basically proposed that I act as his bodyguard, and in exchange,
Freak sack!
grown so far. It was a good point. Neil had been to find out what would happen if he did. And so I agreed with him.
Swear like my zombies. Crack on the floor. Fucking boom, freak bags.
Consequences, take any blows that would have been aimed at him. Sometimes he'd force me to beat up younger kids, younger than myself, who were older. In particular, some of the freshman puppies that continued to break the law.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
I managed to have such a hold over them, especially since I was push back against them. Neil also seemed to know pretty intimate details of the man my mother had run off with, what she was doing now. When I asked Dad about this, he got really quiet and just sort of asked me to repeat this language.
The devil's dogs. No match for the U.S. Marines. I'm gonna need a cushion. I need to get some slugs. Yeah, that's right.
He was a little bit drunk, and he asked where he was going wrong with me and what he could do to help me to get back on track. And it just about broke my heart. And instead of facing up to that, I said something incredibly mean to him that I still apologize for to this day. I told him he could stop being such an embarrassing loser. Now, meanwhile, I developed a reputation at school for being a bully and someone to avoid, so Neil was my only friend, really, for years. And somehow, Neil managed to twist things so it looked like I was the ringleader and he was my sidekick, so any trouble we got into, it was usually me who took the brunt of it. I remember one time, Neil persuaded me to scratch up the paint on the car belonging to one of the most popular seniors in school. If this guy had caught me, I think he was one of the few people in the school who would actually outdo me in a fight, and he would have pummeled me into the ground. Thankfully, we got away with that one. Towards the end of junior year, Neil developed a crush. The girl in question was an unassuming, bookish girl who was quiet and kept to herself. You know the type. Now, she was also the girl that I'd had a crush on for the last year as well, and I'm pretty sure that Neil knew this. Neil told me that he had a plan to ask her to date him. He just needed some time with her in the art classroom, and I had to stand guard to make sure nobody came along and unlocked the door. Now, I might have been a dumb kid, but I wasn't.
Bill Gates, the man every government, mainstream media outlet, and elite looked up to. He spent millions on crafting the perfect image of the wonderful, wise old billionaire who publicly planned to give all of his money away.
I'm super excited that that'll be over 200 billion that we'll give away during that time period, and that we'll be able to save tens of millions of lives.
But now, that image is being recognized for what it really is, a desperate attempt to hide the true darkness laying beneath it. Recent findings in the Epstein files make the claim that he slipped STD antibiotics into his wife's food, after he himself got infected on the island. And trust me, as you'll see later on, things get so much worse. It's really that bad that he's been forced to cancel his latest public appearances. And his ex-wife Melinda, the one he publicly appeared to build his empire with, is now publicly denouncing him.
Well, let me say this. I think we're having a reckoning as a society, right? No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and was going on with all of the various people around him. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
And all it took was one unsent email to confirm something people had been theorizing about for years. Now that the truth has started to trickle out, Bill has been forced to admit to at least 2 affairs with Russian women.
In a town hall meeting with employees, Gates admitting to 2 affairs with Russian women and what he says about the photos of him in the Epstein files.
And it makes you wonder, what else has he been hiding? Whether it be him becoming the largest landowner in the US, or buying out the World Health Organization, or convincing the public that they should be locked in their homes, or presiding over the World Economic Forum, all while secretly chilling out with Jeffrey Epstein. Everything starts to become obvious about this guy when you really look at his creepy behavior subtly coming out in his pre-planned public appearances.
What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that. Well, he's dead, so...
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
People are finally waking up to the other side of the world, the side he spent his life trying to hide from the public. And we're going to uncover in this video how deep this rabbit hole truly goes. Because first of all, Bill Gates made his fortune exploiting a hole in the software industry by building a monopoly. And once we piece this story together, everything else starts to make sense about who Bill Gates really is. As when we say monopoly, we're not joking around. When Bill Gates first took over the
Badass machine.
shared by the then with this unfair advantage, the game developers make something no one else could.
Fucking boom, freak
this, Bill Gates was able to achieve a fantasy of his, becoming one of the most powerful men in the entire world, having complete control of technology throughout the 90s, and soon enough becoming the world's richest man. This gave him contacts in high society, access to people who could bring bags up, very people who actually pull the strings in the world. But because his rise was so rapid, so quick, they soon quickly realized that they couldn't stop him even if they wanted to. Bill ended up sitting in front of a table with his friends and break up his entire empire. Billions of dollars, his childhood dreams, his need for power, and cementing his legacy as the next Rockefeller were all hanging in the balance. But Bill Gates is many things, and smart is one. Time to kill! He had a trick up his sleeve that didn't the good books with people.
Those don't sound like freak bags.
You see, in 1994, Bill Gates was as he rose up with more and more power and control over the world, his billionaire status wasn't seen favorably by others. So all the world was always what can you do to make people like you, so that people don't go investigating your personal life?
Yeah,
that would be
that's
through
right.
funding a charity. So he created his first, called the William H. Gates Foundation after his father. He used it to funnel parts of his vast fortune into philanthropy. They were tiny compared to his net worth, but still more than enough for his needs. Meanwhile, he openly defied the 1995 ruling by the Department of Justice to relinquish his new monopoly on internet browsers. But Gates knew that he could get away with this if he put his cards right.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Advantage. It looked like he was just doing all of his work to give it back to the people. Now, at first, he didn't need to sell it. Coincidentally or not, it was also a role that most of the Senate came from, the elite education system. He knew that this would not only help his public perception by looking like he was giving all of this money back to the people of his country, but he also knew he'd get the right connections by targeting the right people. Which is why the William H. Gates Foundation's first work focused on scholarships, entry programs, and grants and donations to colleges. One 1998 donation of $20 million to Duke University created a program to fast-track migrant foreign students into the world elite. You can see the reasons behind this strategy very clearly. Elite education was where so many politicians come from, where they had built their connections and their base of power. You can be sure that they still all talked to their friends at the colleges, and that they all denied the education system. The move also played into Gates' direct interests, giving him direct students in the country from the desert to him. It was like the today. It's actually real and people also understand that all Microsoft situated to add it to their empire. In this interview from 1996, he barely even bothered to defend
I think someone as saying that Microsoft will be the most powerful company in the history of business in the planet. Certainly the most powerful company.
Come here, puppy. Got something for you.
No, I really don't. Your all makes tools, and Windows what types of systems, but it's certainly in the 70, 80, 90% range.
That's right.
We're just the software supplier, but we're hoping to
I know you
develop
don't make the
software
computer, but you want your software to run those.
If people want to buy it to do those things, we're going to try and make it so easy to use that they find that a great decision.
It's a better position than everybody else, and you know it. Your company probably today is better positioned.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Of course, he knew this is wrong. He was already 3 steps ahead, ensuring that there were So when Gates finally got his Senate $10 billion to $86 billion in just 3 years, articles at the time seemed hopeful that they might see him brought down a peg or two, but nobody really knew if the government had the power to deal with the new richest man in the world. At this point, though, Bill was already indulged in a different side of his life. see, Bill Gates was a nerdy guy when he was young. He'd been married to Bill Gates since 1994. Melinda had been hired as an engineer at Microsoft, where she met Bill, her boss. The two then started an ethically dubious relationship, one that certainly wouldn't be seen as okay by today's standards. But at the time, they were happy, and there was little resistance to this. And once they were married, they projected the image of a perfect, happy marriage to the world. It was all perfect for Bill's reputation as the nice, wise, nerdy rich guy. Then in the late 90s, when Bill Gates had his public image, they all realized that he could use his marriage as the perfect family choice. This is when they turned which turned their local charity behind the scenes, though, it was quite different, and Bill started to get onto the same choice again. In 2000, Bill Gates became employed as another engineer at his company, who remains anonymous to this day. He was still the CEO at this point, and it didn't stop him from starting an affair with
Just more shit to blow up.
And annoyingly, this is Will set boundaries with his workers. All the evidence that Will despite his perfectly married front, in a later interview from 2022, his apology
I'm gonna need a clip soon.
I think you're delving into the particulars at this point is constructive, but yes, I caused pain, and I feel terrible about that.
Yes, he takes responsibility, but he also doesn't want to talk about any of the things he did specifically. Then later, they ask him about Epstein, and he says this.
Did you continue to meet with him when you met him?
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Gates is using charity to justify what he did to the company tech. He could have found some way of applying psychology to effect, and you can be sure he would have done that as well. Of course, people at Microsoft knew all about these claims and who Bill really was. Everyone knew his power, and his company's power was getting out of control as well. But nobody has ever wanted to rock the boat and expose him. One, his image in the public consciousness was seemingly insurmountable, and two, he was also one of those driving men in America. He was someone who had a As an ideology, it combines charity with economics and business strategy. Traditional charity focused on immediate solutions, give food to the hungry, water to the thirsty, jobs to the poor. But as the century turned, this kind of charity was losing funding. Then when the war on terror began, the West and others bank-owning things suddenly tightened the question. So they began taking direct control of investments rather than giving out aid, focusing on data collection and reshaping overall policies at the government level. With their grip on the money, they were controlling who got the funds and how they were used, which effectively put them in control
Son of a bitch.
and allowing them to subtly change the directions of their policies. Meanwhile, this idea of legitimate charity became Gates' manifesto, so it's not good. In 2007,
I need to get some slugs. I need to get some slugs. Running low on gun juice. Ammo's getting low, but I ain't worried. Running low on gun juice. Ammo's getting low, but I ain't worried.
We will have found a sustainable way to reduce inequities.
Gates lays it out here plain and simple. His goal was to use that influence to pressure governments. He accomplished this with his network of elites like the former president of Harvard, who has recently been forced to resign due to his own links with Epstein.
The former Harvard president Larry Summers will resign from his academic and faculty roles at the university at the end of the academic year. This is all over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
He later later admitted slightly more of the
This
truth.
is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Because there's only so much you can do as a billionaire. You can buy all of the things in the world and influence the economy, but you can't fully control the government. But with charity, you can become more powerful than not even presidents. Of course, he said this was all just for making people's lives better. But how much better does the world really seem a few decades under the shadowy rule of the middle class? Isn't it filled by every regular people? It's always been beneficial towards its people. Programs for African farmers to use Gates Foundation-sponsored GMO seeds and crops, the results are pretty terrible. Not only does this come across like Bill Gates is trying to neo-colonialize Africa, but it's a pretty worrying kill. You see, most of the world has gotten far better at farming. Technology has become just more efficient. For agricultural production,
I'll bite your back, freak sack!
Critics claim this is because Gates and other
Get your hands off me, bag brain!
farm single crops for the export market. These kinds of farms they're heavily dependent on volatile global markets for their chosen crop, and they're much worse when it comes to feeding people. The benefits to Gates, though, are obvious. He gets to influence public policy around the world, and he gets to write it all off and pay less tax, effectively meaning that taxpayers are subsidizing all of this. But the best part of this kind of charity work is the publicity it gives him. A steady stream of newspaper reports and TV spots about his charity work legitimized his place at the top, and made it that much harder for his alleged victims to speak out. People who would appear in the Epstein files years later, standing arm in arm with Bill Gates and with their faces blacked out to protect their identities. This was also a strategy that a different billionaire philanthropist used to cultivate an image. When he was alive and active in high society, Jeffrey Epstein used his charity as a shield and a way to justify his lifestyle, while also using it to network. In reality, we now know that his charity barely gave him in 18 years, they only donated $17 million to charity, much more purely a way to influence powerful people. There's even evidence that Epstein owns his own Wikipedia page larger figures. One 2013 edit claimed he donated $184 million more than he actually had. The account that made this edit has the same username he had claimed in his earlier court documents. By this point, Epstein and Gates had both been active in charity work for years, both realizing its marketing potential. It was also how Epstein first met Bill in 2011. This was just 3 years after Epstein had been convicted for procuring.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Had been warned about his gold-fisted Epstein's unprecedented. On one occasion, he stayed late into the night and remarked in emails to colleagues that his lifestyle is very different and kind of intriguing, although it would not work for me. Although it was later revealed that there was a framed $1 bill signed with a handwritten note from Bill Gates on display in Epstein's townhouse, saying, quote, "I was wrong." Later on, a spokesperson for Gates said that the quote about him not working on me was actually just referring to
It's actually true that I was only at dinners. You know, I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, you know, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the crime was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
And also, why was there this $1 bill signed personally by the Epstein's mansion? He also didn't have any women have photo evidence. Whether or not he did any
sweet as that.
Photos show Gates and according to the FBI, all of the redactions to the Epstein files have been made to protect the identities of the victims. So it leaves it all up in the air. Were these people victims? Was it Bill Gates who was the victimizer? Gates and Epstein also had intimate business connections. They were both linked by JP Morgan. In 2011, Gates was in the process of an investment fund with them to assist in his vaccine rollout. Another way he used to solve Epstein meanwhile got them wealthy clients who also immense fortune with them. The most shocking revelations, though, ones which probably led Gates to cancel his recent public appearance, are potentially much more damaging and could lead to a criminal investigation if proven correct. But remember, Bill Gates has literally spent a lifetime cultivating
No match for the U.S. Marines.
Regular people want to get fun. Since the forming of his foundation, Gates has always targeted healthcare has been always good, but farming keeps that far, especially when it comes to his domestic holdings. With about 250,000 areas nearly the same size as Hong Kong, Gates is the #1 private owner of farmland in the US. He can test out his GMO crops on this farmland, run his own experiments, and control a sizable portion of the agricultural industry just by using a remarkably small portion of his overall wealth. Meanwhile, he's still making money with all of the leases. Really though, this is still all about the
badass machine.
Power and the world. It's the definition of a finite resource, one that will always go up in value as more people are born. Gates made sure that he had reach a wide array of government interests, especially vaccines. This was the Foundation's key interest in developing countries throughout the 2010s, pushing massive programs.
This is gonna jack those freakbacks up.
They're also the second biggest funder of the World Health Organization. The Gates Foundation decides what they do with the money they give them, and in 2018 to 2019, they gave over $500 million to the World Health Organization. When the pandemic happened, something that Gates had actually predicted years before in a TED Talk, he immediately rushed to capitalize on this, giving interviews with an air of "I told you so," while trying to legitimize his place as a world leader.
We're done after 2015. A very small percentage what we should have done, where we would have diagnostics very quickly, drugs very quickly, and a vaccine far more rapidly.
Meanwhile, he used his position to gain even more power in governments across the world, all as a completely In addition, this also gave him where the vaccine rollout happened and who got the doses.
I'm gonna need a clip soon.
They also advised the
Ammo's getting low.
response. In particular, he advised the US and all these other
Low on gun
nations
juice.
on the ways of lockdowns and various measures that governments took, effective or otherwise, all without any
This is
repercussions
gonna put their
later on.
guts on
Even
the
though in
outside.
hindsight, you know how
I need to get some slugs.
Meanwhile, the world's 10 richest men doubled their net worths over the course of the pandemic. This process allowed Gates and money in 2019, but in the public eye, he was still untouched. The idea that he got too much power was regarded as a conspiracy. You would just see him as a crackpot
Ammo
$50,000. He was still seen as one of the most
that's
respected
right.
billionaires out there. His perfect image he'd spent decades working on had really done wonders. People were looking up to him as this wise elderly figure. But then that same year, small cracks began to emerge. Microsoft then learned of the affair he had started in the year 2000. He had left the CEO position long ago. It seems like this was the final push that
This is gonna jack those freakbacks up.
although Gates does deny this himself. In 2021, despite the pictures of Gates with women, evidence that they had once been a passenger on Epstein's private plane. It sounded a
no
lot
ammo.
more than the charity dinners that Gates claims were their only contact.
You know, I had dinners with him. He had relationships with people, as he said.
Time to kill.
unsent draft emails, Epstein writes an account of the dirty secrets behind the account. He writes in the voice of the right-hand man of Bill Gates. Then he goes on to describe their activities, from helping Bill to get drugs in order to deal with the consequences of sexual intercourse, to facilitating his illicit trysts with women, to being asked to fire Epstein often wrote messages like blackmail and compromise material on his rich connections, although there was no evidence released alongside the email draft. Some of what he says, though, about the affairs at least of those specific proclivities towards that can be corroborated. Numerous women have also described having to turn down Bill at various work and charity events after he made inappropriate advances. But this is all just speculation. Bill has thoroughly denied the accusations. Linda
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
And I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
She was a part of that world for many decades, and like other elites, she isn't going to say
Son of a bitch.
Personal experiences. In February of 2026, surely Gates cancelled the materials, and it was the first step. Still, one was so far, despite the the scapegoat chosen was former Prince Andrew, and he's been the only elite to suffer any real penalties. And it isn't even related to trafficking at all. Instead, it's like a pathetic version of Al Capone getting locked away for tax evasion instead. It is, hopefully though, the first domino of many. The people at the top with the power to change things refuse to acknowledge the elephant in the room. The most likely outcome if the outrage continues is that we will continue to see this. The momentum continues that people like Bill Gates might actually get investigated for once. But until then, though, we might just have to settle for them losing their reputation instead of their freedom. It's still a massive loss for someone with almost unlimited money. It's clearly, even with all the best PR team and all the money in the world, you simply can't buy your way back from that level.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up. I'm gonna rip some shit up with this. Four-legged freak sacks. Just more shit to blow up. I'm gonna need a clip soon. I need to get some slugs. Running low on gun juice. Yeah, that's right.
Since he was famous now, Steve naturally got invited on a bunch of podcasts hosted by other comedians, which would turn out to be the biggest mistake of his life. Now, guys, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but the comedy world is very small.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up. Die, motherfucker! juice!
He made a little fib. You know, just a little white lie about escaping the worst terrorist attack on American soil.
Ka fucking boom, freak bags!
Honestly, I feel like this is
I need to get some slugs. I'm low on punches. Ammo's getting low, but I ain't this.
I'm sorry, that's not true. If you pass that 15 seconds, it's sort of like, now I have to be the guy who's very strange and weird and just said I lied about 9/11.
Do you think of yourself as psychologically
This is gonna jack those freak bags up. Crazy!
Speaking of profit, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've lost a little bit of weight recently.
Fucking boom, freak bags!
Grams of sugar per serving, plus it's high in protein and has no artificial colors, which means I can finally enjoy
Die, freak son!
which is rare in cereal. Again,
Ready to die, freak bags?
you are for $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon. Let's get back to the video,
This is gonna jack those freak bags up. Shit, that was badass!
Tracy was at Ground Zero that day, and 8 days after, sifting through blood, bone, and concrete, trying to save as many people as possible, which left him with lifelong medical issues.
Son of a bitch.